Okay, folks, as you know, in your WILF, you had this particular section, which is the one that I want to focus on at this moment in time, to develop an understanding about Jewish beliefs about God, and in particular, the relationship between Jews and God. So that's what we're going to be having a look at in this video session. So this is your Judaism 101. In order to understand Judaism, the first thing that you need to understand is that Jews believe that they have a covenant with God. What does that mean? Well, a covenant is a very, very, very important word in Judaism. It really is the big idea, the main idea upon which the rest of Judaism sits. A covenant is basically an agreement. It is a promise between two parties. So when we're talking about a covenant with God, this is the key idea, which is it is the idea that Jews believe that there is a mutually kept promise or agreement between God and the Jewish people. And there are three of them in Judaism. So the first one is the promise that was kept between Noah and God. See, the first thing that Noah does when he comes off the boat, having rescued all of the animals after the great flood, is that he makes a blood sacrifice to God. He sacrifices a lamb to God. That is what he's offering God, and in return, God promises that he will never revisit that destruction on any of the living creatures in the world. Not to that scale, at any rate. The second covenant is between Abraham and God. Abraham, the most important person in Judaism. And the reason for that is because he is considered the forefather of Judaism. In fact, actually, Judaism technically has three forefathers, but he's the most important one. And the forefathers in Judaism are called the patriarchs. Abraham is told by God one day to leave where he lives and travel to a land that he will promise to him. And Abraham leaves where he lives in Iran, travels to this strange place called Canaan, because God has promised to him children. And he says, if you go to this place, I will give you children. And Abraham does. And then eventually God turns around to him and says, I shall make you a great nation. I will bless you. I will make your name great, and I will be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, and whoever curses you, I will curse. In other words, what he's saying is, I'm not only going to give you a child, but the descendants of that child will be a great nation. You will be that nation's ancestor, and they will be my chosen people, and they will have my protection. The third covenant is between Moses and God, and this takes place about 600 years later. Now, Moses is also a patriarch, so he is another one of the forefathers of Judaism. Now, the nature of his covenant with God is that God is now renewing his promise to the Jewish people. He is renewing his commitment, saying that you are still my chosen people. And that is a renewal of the promise that he made to Abraham. In return, the Jews have to offer their devotion and dedication to God by following the laws that he will give Moses. To sum that up, to understand the relationship between God and the Jewish people, you have to understand the idea that they believe that they have a covenant with God. And that covenant came in three installments: from Noah, Abraham, and Moses. And that helps us to understand the nature of the relationship between God and Jews, because the key idea is that they believe that they are the chosen people of God.